Hey guys, how's it going? So today I'm just going to be kind of doing a quick video on my Airsoft Glocks here. Just kind of trying to address a question that I've received on a lot of my Glock videos, and the question's pretty much the same. Where do you buy your Airsoft Glocks? So just to kind of, tell everybody at once instead of replying each individual comment where I buy these. The list varies. I've had a lot of these Glocks for years. I think my oldest one I had for, I think, 5 years now. So, back then there was a lot of U.S. airsoft retailers that actually still sold the Glocks back then. So I actually managed to buy a good amount of them in the States, but then in the last few years I actually had to resort with purchasing from international retailers. So basically, starting off, when I first got my Glock 17, it was a tan frame uh, by WeTech, just a regular G17. Um, I purchased that actually off of Airsplat. So I know the whole controversy that Airsplat had back then, with getting sued and whatnot. I think it was mainly due to the Glock issue. I managed to get it with their promo code, which I got for a steal. I got it for like $60 and brand new. They just had Black Friday sales, Christmas sales, and all that, and I managed to snag it for the low. So, that's where I got that. Then down the line, I purchased also from Airsplat uh, the Glock 23 and the Glock 18 up here. So those were also from Airsplat. Also used, they had promo codes back then, which of course I abused. Why not? It's there for you. So I got a pretty much uh, for the like two of those for the price of one. It was like $110 for two of them or something like that, and I got the free shipping. So that was back. I mean, you can kind of look through my videos. I actually have an unboxing video of those, which I'll actually include in this video so you guys have an idea. But that was years ago. That was like 2-3 years ago. So that was Airsplat. So over the years, of course, I think 2 or 3 years ago, Airsplat actually went through a new ownership change. So they basically revamped everything, their website, they're just, I totally hated it. I hate their new setup. I really don't even buy from them anymore. Last time I bought anything from them was these Glocks 3 years ago. So I mainly work with buying stuff from Evic, not Glock related, but they're one of my favorite easy retailers in the States. And for any of my Glock needs, I now go to either ehobbyasia.com or airsoftglobal.com. Those two are Hong Kong retailers. Those are really the two that I prefer as fulfilling my needs in terms of Glock. I know there's a lot of other ones like jkarmy.com and then a couple other ones, but in terms of professional and on time, no BS, I go to these two main Hong Kong retailers, so Airsoft Global and ehobbyasia.com. I know that eHobbyAsia actually stopped selling Glocks probably in the last couple of years as well, again due to the lawsuit. But not 100%. There is still some there, but it's mainly variants, and you have to be very specific with your keywords to what you type in. Of course, they're still going to have spare parts, but I'm talking about this is just the gun itself, not parts. Parts you can find across all of these websites for the most part. Mainly now, for your largest variety of Glock that you can buy, is going to be with airsoftglobal.com. Basically, I don't remember how I found the website. I too was like you guys, searching everywhere and anywhere to buy these Glocks because it's my favorite pistol, and I'm just trying to collect them up and hoard them up before they're gone for good, which is now even international retailers are starting to kind of, steer away from selling these. But that's where I ended up getting uh, the 19 here, and then the stainless steel 17, both by WeTech, and then my custom-made Glock 17. Those custom parts are pretty much from eHobby Asia, and even with some of the parts, like this one has the custom Glock trademarked mag base, and I have plans of actually getting more Glocks. I have my eyes on about, I think I'm crazy, but about 5 other ones that I'm trying to get in the next few months. So it's going to be some exciting content. If you guys looked at my recent Facebook and Instagram posts, you kind of get an idea of the first 3 I'm getting, but again, that list is expanding. So I have some really freaky, crazy ones that I got a hold of, and you guys will be seeing content on that shortly. But anyway, I will include all of this information. You know, this is me being generous to these airsoft retailers, you know, for really giving the products that I needed. So, you know, I'm definitely happy to share their website with you guys, so, you know, more traffic their way, you know, because I think they just excel in their customer service. I've never had any issues. I've ordered, I'm gonna say, over $600 worth of just stuff from overseas, and it just came through just fine. I'm out in Chicago. It goes through O'Hare, the world's busiest airport, and I never had any customs issues. It really depends on your area. I can't say the same for anybody else, you know, that lives in any other state, what your rules are, or what your state's rules are, you know, or that airport, whatever. Um, with these retailers, they do their best to make sure that the customs seizure does not occur. So they really make sure that they package these, you know, they reverse the boxes in the Glocks, so then it looks just like a plain old box. You know, they can't just go through it, you know, if it looks like a plain old box. But if you're, you know, they will check the boxes periodically. You will see the safety strip basically cut on your box, and then, you know, they just do an inspection, and then they close it up and put a sticker that'll say, you know, inspected by customs. So in case that happens, the retailer that's shipping it to you is already thinking of this. So that's why you'll notice sometimes tape across the trademarks, black electrical tape, or the boxes will be inside out, so they don't see the G logo or anything like that. Again, you got to remember with Glock replicas, they're, you know, I don't know if they're illegal here in the States, but definitely the selling of them is illegal. So, you know, that's why a lot of these retailers are kind of, you know, shutting down on sales on these, and that's why they're really difficult to find um, for some people. For some people, it's difficult. For some, it'll be easy. But mainly, you know, people have their ups and downs with trying to get these. But I don't know. To me, I've had luck. You know, it's all about doing your research. And I mean, I'm kind of helping you guys, you know, to put a stop to the search if you're really not sure what to do. You know, I'm going to include the links to the websites. You know, they're reliable. I'm giving you my honest opinion. I've ordered from them. You know, I've took the risk for you guys. If you really are not 100% sure, this is just my words. Just saying, you know, don't worry. You know, go for it. It'll be worth it for you. The only thing is, you know, with their prices, they're lower. The reason why they're lower is because the freight cost it's up there. So they kind of like negate each other. So, you know, to make it feel like you're gonna pay, you know, instead of the $50 for the freight, you're gonna pay like 20 because the price adds up. Because generally these are like $100. They sell them for maybe like 80. So, and then plus the shipping. The shipping is like, you know, depending on your state, of course, it's gonna be like $50. To get it here, it's about $50 for 2 of them. So when I had my 17 and my 19 shipped over, they were all in one box. That was about like $40, 2 to 4 week Hong Kong shipping. So meaning it's gonna go by like a barge, like a ship, unless you do like air, next day air, or not next day air. It's like 3 to 5 day delivery time for that. But of course, freight costs much higher if you go with that route, but also it's a lot better chance for it to get by customs without, you know, them going through the package and everything. So, you know, I've done both. I've done rush shipping, and I've done snail mail, going via barge, and, you know, taking 4 weeks to get, you know, I've done it all. I've gotten the packages 100%. You know, if in case this happens, if you do lose your package, file a claim. That's the most important thing you could do, so you can get your money back and then you could try again. The main thing here is I'm trying to think of what it is, um, but you need to make sure that if you're going to be paying something for an international retailer, use PayPal, because you can always dispute any charges if something goes wrong. If for some reason you're filing your claim with these retailers and they say, "Oh, we can't give you your money back," PayPal will help you. You know, that's why with everything that I buy overseas, I use PayPal just to save my own butt in the end in case anything happens. But again, that's worst case scenario. I've never had anything like that. And if something like that does happen, you just got to be quick on it. You know, you got to track your package, just stay on top of it, and make sure it makes it to you. As soon as you see it in the States, it's pretty much a guarantee that you'll get it, and you don't have to really worry, about it getting there. So, kind of a quick summary of where I get these, just some facts, everything. If you guys still feel like you're questioning yourself and you're not sure, don't hesitate to message me. Don't hesitate to put a comment in. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, Twitter. You guys can all contact me through there if you don't really know. I'm pretty, friendly. I like talking to everybody. I respond to like every message I get, every comment I get. So don't hesitate. Definitely read other comments, because I probably would have something already, going with somebody else about, just information. So I'm sure you could probably find your answer in the comments, after a little bit. But that's all I had for you guys today. I really hope you guys did enjoy this video. It's a little bit more informative, with getting these pistols. It's definitely something you guys have been asking me, and I kind of feel that a video is in order to really get an understanding a little bit better. But hope you guys enjoy. Be on the lookout for more Glock videos in the coming months. It's gonna be a lot. I'm going to get some more into real steel firearms, so that's gonna be fun. I already have some plans for that, so you guys keep in tune with that, and I'll keep some content coming your way. Take it easy.